This is the system that is working right now to generate unblocked lead flow, sales every single day at a profit, and taking people from cold to sold in a systematic way, almost on its own, because of carefully positioned marketing assets that follow the 7-11-4 rule. So let me explain. I'll do the summary first and then I'll come back. So this is a new kind of marketing approach that thrives in this attention economy and today's trust recession. It systematically manufactures the 7-11-4 rule for all your prospects, creating a prospect journey that leads to more know, like, and trust for you, which leads to a high quality pipeline of people ready to buy and can happen while you do what you do best, which is in there changing lives. One that relies less on people and more on systems, which is what we're all about. It never gets sick. It never complains. It never needs to go on a 6-week trip to Europe and doesn't need a toilet break. Systems is what we need in our business that drives our business. Systems is what transforms our business from a friggin' job to a real asset for us and our wealth. Systems literally stand for save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. So we have a business that serves you, not the other way around. Okay. So let me explain what's going on here in the Sale a Day system. Over here, we've got the important strategy elements. So this is when we identify your dream member profile, your sort of core/hero narrative, the sort of messaging around your service and why it exists. Therefore, then your content strategy and your pillars and your channel mix, and then your signature offers. How are you going to solve your dream members' problems at a profit? And then there's 4 different channels. Okay, this is the 7-11-4. The 4 being the 4 different places, the 4 different channels. There's the discovery up the top here. There's social. For a lot of you at the moment, it might be Instagram. Probably is Instagram. There's grassroots activity. Still to this day, so many of you, so many studio owners that we meet really undervalue and completely miss out on a massive opportunity by not doing intentional stuff on grassroots. And then emails. You guys know how strong I am on emails. I've been talking about emails for years. No one's been listening to me. Emails by far still 42 times ROI on every dollar you're spending on emails. Emails by far still, you can look it up. Harvard studies the whole thing. It outperforms all social media networks combined when it comes to revenue generating marketing activities, email. Okay. So a lot of people that come to Geronimo, they're not sending emails. It's just promotional emails. They're not nurturing. So this is the first time this industry's seen it all wrapped up holistically into one system, okay? And then so there are your 4 channels, and then it moves through the different stages of the funnel. There's the top of funnel awareness, there's the middle of funnel nurture, the bottom of funnel action, and then the conversion. And then the CAC, you remember CAC because we went through that module, right? It's the cost to acquire a customer. You're making a profit at that stage. And then you move into the onboarding flow, of which you're going to keep 80% of every new person that starts with you. And the reason why it changes colors is because it signifies the size of the market, but also the temperature of the people at that stage. See, the most problem is where everyone's out there right now, when you've been doing your offer ads, same as everyone else, you're all going after the same part of the market, which is the bottom of funnel action. Discount, buy now. Discount, buy now. The problem with that is there's only about 5% of the market that is ready to buy whatever you've got. And the real problem with that is everyone's going after the same 5%. So you've only got this. You've only got this size of the market. The real players realize that you need to create a bigger pipeline by going after what we call the larger market, which are these elements here. I've signified this with some temperature color changes. The top of funnel is like you're just on their radar. They're not ready to go. So they're a bit, like cooler. The elements here is like you got your collaborations on Instagram, you got competitions, you've got some search, you've got some PR, you've got some reputation, some earned media. That's sort of up this top here. If you do a podcast interview with someone, jump on our podcast, boom, now you're on someone's radar, top of funnel awareness. From a social perspective, you've got, what we call the Future 100 campaign, which is our lead magnet campaigns, and you've got content that's part of your content strategy that, you've boosted, you've put some money around it, and the way that you've targeted that particular campaign, that's now seen by, lots of people in your market, which is boom, now you're on their radar. From a grassroots activity, you've got your local activations with your schools, your sports teams, and your local businesses, and you've got your ambient marketing like your signage, the flyer drops, your QR code, lead capture, and then boom, into the email new lead sequence. Really strong mix of top of funnel awareness there. And then now they're in your world, you move them to your middle of funnel nurture. So that's why at the top here, you've got your long form hero series. Now, for a lot of you guys, you're starting to get onto YouTube. For us, it's podcast. I know a lot of you guys have got some podcasts now. So if you haven't got any long form content, we're going to work on that together when the time's right. And there's a way that we can help you build out a quasi long form without you having to, now you have to learn YouTube if you're not already on there. There's ways that we can do that, and we'll work with you on that. But then you've got your pillar content, that you're posting that is moving your dream prospect from sad to happy. Chat marketing, which is big. And then you've got your retargeting ads. For everyone that has touched your pixel, now they're getting served retargeting ads, which might be your testimonials. It might be what you're about. It might be some really cool branded pieces that kind of just now increase the know, like, and trust. Remember, the clock's ticking. 7 hours of content. It's chewing up the 7 hours. 11 touch points. You can see all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can start to see all the touch points now in a holistic method, not just scattergun, random acts of marketing, which is why you're feeling overwhelmed, etc. And then you've got your grassroots, middle of funnel. You've got your open weeks, really big on open weeks or experience weeks. Our members, people that are in the drama program, they fucking love this. Such a great way to bring people in. And then you've got your super Saturdays, your partner Saturdays, and then again, like activations that you're doing within your studio. This is kind of more outside the area. This is more within your studio. And then you've got your email newsletter. So we're going to teach you guys how to email out properly 3 times a week using Wingman or your own system, and then how to do that, how to sit down and do that, how to bring that into your workflow and really enjoy that process to get to this point. So again, cool. Now we're starting to warm them up, and now they're red hot, ready to go. Okay, over here we've got the Google ads. They're like, gyms near me, yoga studio near me. Boom, you need to be there to capture that. Like, that's almost free money there, right? You got your offer ads coming through, Matt. So there's your signature offers to people that already know you, like you. Now they trust you because they've spent enough time with you. Now you've warmed them up. They're ready to buy. And who are they going to buy from? The person who's warming them up, right? The person they feel like they know. And then you got referrals. Everyone asks, where does referral fit into this? Right here. Bottom of funnel, grassroots, 7 asks referral system. We've got this whole system around referrals. So powerful. And then on emails, this email channel down here, you've got what we call the parachute method, which is a very effective email campaign reactivation to send out to your database every single month. And there's variations of it. There's 1-day ones, 3-day ones, 5-day ones. And then ultimately all of this generates opportunity here, leads you into the conversion stage. This is your sales conversions. You can do that via the phone, you can do that via chat, or you can do it via appointments / walk-ins, appointments on the phone or appointments at the studio. There's ways to do this. This is going to be your triple threat. And then ultimately all leads into profit every time you convert someone, and then you move them into the rollover flow. Team, you do this, you are pro, and it might look scary, but all you need is yourself and a couple of hours a week. That's it. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably already putting the hours in. It's just being random and not part of a comprehensive system like this. So that is the sale a day system. Now, while the sale a day system is the most effective and streamlined method, well, again, the old way, you were putting out content, you had some flyers in the cafes, you ran some ads, you had trials available on your website, you did some promos at the school or community fair, you posted in local Facebook groups, you were working your butt off to generate decent leads, but none of it was really connected. And you can see I didn't really create the perfect member buyer's journey that manufactured the 7-11-4 principle, the know, like, and trust. It was just more work. It was just more work for you. So compare that to our new friend here, the new sale a day system. You got your 3 main areas of any great marketing system. You got your top of funnel, bottom, middle of funnel, then the bottom of funnel. But for all these to really shine, the most important part of the entire system is what we call your marketing strategy, which is this part here, okay? That is your dream member profile. That is your hero narrative. That's your content strategy. They're your signature offers. This is your kind of foundation. You can't build a skyscraper without a strong foundation. There's no point posting random shit over here or doing random stuff over here if it wasn't part of your original strategy to begin with. Yeah, without that, you're just going to be doing more like random stuff, and everything's going to feel disjointed again, and you won't be attracting your tribe, which is really important. And the other thing to do is you'll also be easier to copy. If you do this, you're going to be hard to kill as a studio, which is what we're going to do for you. You're going to be easy to copy by the competitor down the road. Someone's just going to sit on ads library and just copy your ads, but let them. They're just going to be like, you know, stealing your undies off the clothesline and trying, you know, wearing your undies. It's like, it's not going to fucking work. And it's bloody weird. Yeah. And you might have to panic where your next lead is coming from, which is why I'm so excited for this. This is crushing. This is crushing right now. Like right now, we're sitting just on the other side of winter here in Australia, and our studios are at record levels even after winter. 72% of them grew after winter, and it's because they had this system cranking in the background where their other competitor studios started to recoil, get scared, panic, winter's here, or summer if you're on the other side of the world. And but our guys, who are just as busy as you, have implemented elements of this system, and it's just cranking. It's just like a cash register ringing through the night. So why the sale day system is the most effective and long-term method. Number one is it's a perfect blend of direct response and building your brand, okay? Because even though direct response is fast money, brand building is big money. Brand is what builds billion-dollar businesses. You look at Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is a billionaire now, not because of his movies, but he's a billionaire because of he's been building his brand and he uses his brand to attach to projects. And when he does that, it increases the value of those projects, hence increasing his own value. Kylie Jenner, I don't know how old she was when she released her makeup line, instantly, overnight, became a billionaire. She's incredible. The Rock. If The Rock released a range of children's books tomorrow, they'd sell out. He could release a range of cereal tomorrow. Do you think he'd do well? It's because of brand, right? You're in a saturated market, and attention is the new oil. So this system becomes your oil rig working day and night. The second thing is it creates a moat around your business. You'll be harder to copy. You'll be harder to price match. You won't need to engage in that kind of race to the bottom that the weak ones are doing out there, and is working your members at the same time as your prospects. So it's so efficient. You're no longer one banned ad account away from losing your business. I remember a couple of years ago when there was a particular network that we were working with, F45 network, and there was a crisis. There was, you know, all their ad accounts went down almost at the same time, and the sheer panic we saw on people's faces really made me so concerned that these people have built their house on someone else's land. So of course, when the landlord came to collect, you know, if Mark Zuckerberg wakes up and goes, you know what, guys, I just don't like fitness businesses and health and fitness businesses advertising on Facebook anymore. Sorry, but not sorry. You guys are out. If all you've been growing your business with is advertising on that platform, you are genuinely. So the way we do this with the sale day system is you're omnipresent. God, you guys are smart. You're omnipresent. You're not relying on one channel, and you're building an asset you own, which is your email list. Yeah, effectively your customer list. That's yours. It's a true business asset. Next to your equipment, if you own it outright, or the studio that you're in, if you own that outright, your email list is your only asset. These are people that know you, like you, and trust you. Additionally, it works with any social media platforms and is future-proofed, right? You won't need to panic. If tomorrow some other version of a network turns up, great, we'll just apply it over there as well, okay? You won't need to panic if a new social network emerges and all of a sudden you've been trying to do this all over MySpace. Some of you might be too young to know MySpace. Maybe Clubhouse, remember Clubhouse like that? It's okay, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not married to it because you've been building a brand across 4 different channels. You know, you're omnipresent. We'll just add another channel into the mix. We'll work with you together to, you know, we'll be ahead on the strategy for you guys. We'll look after you. Dark social is no threat either. If you don't know what dark social is, you will. You're probably already doing it yourself. Look that one up, because the funnel mimics what people are afraid of the most when trying to attribute the ROI of paid ads, right? So it's fine. We got you sorted. You'll be the smartest business owner on the block. When you catch up with all your other franchise network owners or your other gym owner, studio owner friends, and they're telling you that they're struggling with lead flow, and you ask them those questions. You ask them some questions about, like, what's your dream member profile? Oh, I don't have one. What's your content strategy? What are your main pillars? How are you manufacturing the 7-11-4 rule from Google? It's not just my idea. It's like, it's a thing. It's in a report. Look it up. It's called the 0 Moments of Truth. So when everyone else is relying on some hustle and random acts of marketing, you're building a full funnel and strong brand. Like, that is hot. This is why you need to take advantage of this right now to get ahead of the curve. This won't be new for much longer, okay? So everyone else will figure this out. They'll copy me like they have before. Now is the blue ocean. You can make the most gains right now. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is right friggin' now. Now let me bust some myths. Isn't organic content slow to scale? This isn't just organic content where you're just posting online. I know you guys have worked with people out there that have told you that you've got to post 5 times a day to get leads. Tell them to shut up. That is not even true. This sale a day is not that. It's not just random posting. This is a very systematic and methodical way to post amazing content, bring you eyeballs, fuel the growth of your brand by kind of leveraging paid, like squeeze out every single lead, sales call and client. So it's part of a whole machine. When you do it right, your CAC, your cost to acquire a customer versus your lifetime value. So therefore your return on cash, your ROC will go through the roof. Hopefully one day you'll thank me for it. If you've ever built an organic brand online, you'll know that people that come from your organic brand are your most amazing clients or your hottest prospects. Like I don't need to hear that your organic leads have been easier to sell than your paid ones. Like that is captain obvious. If you're saying that to me, then you're just showing me how little you know. Like I know, that's obvious. I'm saying that like, if you can find a way to create the same phenomenon, but by using paid, now you're going into markets that didn't even know you and you still get that organic content effect. So when they do come to you, they've almost got their wallet out ready to buy. That's the pro tip. It's not you telling me that your organic content gets, warmer leads. That's how that works. That's everyone knows that. If you think, God, that looks complex and messy, though, so if you just overcomplicated things, it's like, you know what? You're right. It does look complex and messy and there is a fair bit to it. And if you were trying to do this on your own and you didn't use the sale a day system and you just randomly try to put these pieces together, then yeah, it'd probably take a while, get a bit messy. You wouldn't know how to join the dots and how many of those you'd need and when do you do this one and what's the actual playbook for how to do that and all that kind of stuff. But good news is you're with us now and this system was developed with efficiencies in mind. Like I'm as busy as you. I've got 3 kids as well. Like this system is what we use here in Geronimo as well. It's probably how you got here. Everything is connected to another part. Each piece becomes an asset and each asset comes from the core strategy, the core avatar dream member research and a killer fucking offer. If you get this right, you're going to experience unblocked lead flow with an irresistible offer that becomes a magnet for your ideal members. A strategy that builds the know, like, and trust with your market in an era where 84% of millennials no longer trust ads from brands. Look it up. That's a real stat. A proper follow-up and sales funnel so you can turn more maybes into money. You'll find more of the right people for your community who want to be there, not time and energy wasters. You'll get a full business system and process so you're not running around like your hair is on fire all week long. That's what happened to mine. Your trial to member conversions will lift from the standard of, 20 to 30% to 80% and outrun your competitors and most importantly, outrun your churn, which means you'll grow faster and you'll grow your member base fast, start making more money and stop doing business in hard mode. Go right to the top. You remember, the reason why studios don't grow is because the same amount of people joining each month is barely more than the same amount of people leaving each month. Remember, we need to do both, not one of them, both at the same time, week in, week out, month in, month out. And this is how we do it in a competitive landscape, saturated with Me Too studios and playing by the new set of rules. Welcome to the Sale a Day system. Team, all right, here we go. This is your ultimate marketing strategy, simplified and made a lot more powerful, including your hero narrative. So this is where we're ready to start. The first step is to create a clear and actionable simple guide to understanding and connecting with your ideal member. Okay, so the reason why we do that has several key benefits. This is going to get you the clarity and the focus that you need. So once you identify your ideal members' pain points, the desires, the experiences, you get a much sharper focus on who you're trying to serve so that you can tailor your messaging and offers way more effectively. The second part is it enhances your messaging. It really kind of like cranks up your messaging because it gets so much more specific. And what we always say is specificity sells. It helps you guide your product and offer development because you actually know what problems you're trying to solve. It strengthens your strategic positioning in market. It makes people realize, our consumers really want to put us as brands in boxes in their heads. So you're helping them do that when you're actually much clearer yourself on who you are and what you're trying to achieve. It's going to then help you optimize your marketing campaigns. You're going to build stronger connections with your market. You're going to make better, more informed decisions because you're going to have some data and some insights, not just panic and fucking emotions, which is what the poor studios do, the ones that fail. And then you get consistent brand messaging across all your touch points. So through this exercise, you're going to gain a powerful tool to improve your marketing and sales efforts while enhancing your overall business strategy and your growth potential. But you also know when someone goes, what's your market strategy? You're not just going to be like, oh, I'll take anyone. You're going to be like, no, I know exactly what and then you'll be able to list out all the things you're about to learn. Why your current campaigns aren't working and why your lead flow is fucked. The most common mistake I see businesses make at all levels with their marketing is running generic offers to generic audience with no unique or compelling message and then wondering why it doesn't work. Or even worse, they spend all day long on someone else's Facebook ads library looking at what they're doing and try and copy it. The problem with this is it lacks any friggin' strategy and understanding of your localized market, which is something that no one else can compete with. Marketing to everyone with generic offers means you're not really marketing to anyone and it won't land. That's why lead flow feels lumpy, feels non-existent, and becomes really expensive. So you end up feeling like you have to compete on price just to get as many leads in as possible. All right, you bring in the leads that don't answer the phone or convert, or you get members that you don't love working with, and your community kind of feels like a bit of a mishmash of randoms. You're not really serving a key type of member. It's just a collection of misfits in your studio. And ultimately, that's probably why you're getting a high churn as well. So instead, we want you to turn you into a category of one, a big fish in a small pond. If you become incredible at serving one niche, then you have the ability to go deep and specialized for that particular niche, which cuts through and makes you the only logical and emotional choice in market. And you can charge whatever you want at that point. You think about, when I had my heart attack, do I go and see a GP that is the same guy that, that talks to me about my sore throat? Or do I go and see the cardiologist who is the specialist at that? And who charges more? Once you get this right, price becomes irrelevant. You'll generate a better return on your time, money, and energy. You dominate your area and curate a community of top-notch members. Think of yourselves as specialists rather than generalists. And as Brian Chesky, founder of Airbnb, said, build something 100 people would love, not something 1 million people kind of get. If you can back yourself to solve a big problem for a small niche, the riches are in the niches. All right, so common mistakes in establishing your ideal avatar. You're being too broad. Bro, you're being too broad. You're seeking comfort in not really deciding because you're hoping you're going to grab everyone, which I understand that level of thinking, but it's not the right level of thinking. Trust the process here. Trust us. You want to go an inch wide and a mile deep. An inch wide means you target a very tightly defined segment or subsegment of a market. A mile deep means a large enough addressable market is looking for that solution, specific problem. I think one of the things that we see is when people think that they want to go after a particular avatar because that's who they want to work with more, like as in it's who they identify with more and relate to more as opposed to the size of the market. I'll give you an example. A lot of trainers that we meet in the fitness studio world, they like working with athletes because they might have used to be an athlete as well as the trainer. I get it. And that would be exciting and you can work on more advanced stuff and bits and pieces. But like the size of that market is a lot smaller than, for instance, the beginner market or, the market who has more mass market needs and problems to solve. So just think about it that way. Either way, it has to be the right market for you, okay? We can't decide this for you. You've got to go through that exercise and ask all your members and find out, really dig, people that are paying you every single week right now. We don't know this answer, you do. Another mistake is you avoid niching down because you're afraid of missing out, okay? So I think I've explained all of that. Just trust the process on this. If that was working for you, you wouldn't even be here, okay? Overlooking psychographics. So demographics are important, but they're not everything, okay? So don't confuse demo, which is males, 28 to 43, living in where, don't confuse demos with an avatar. So example, a woman aged 30 to 45 is a demo, working professional women aged 30 to 45 is an avatar, particularly if struggling with weight loss in an office job. Understanding the underlying motivation and behaviors of your avatar will be crucial for crafting your effective offers and generating convertible leads. If you only focus on demographics, you will miss key pain points and activators that will influence your lead to take action. Not getting real life feedback. So if you just skip this process because you're lazy, relying solely on assumptions and you're too scared to talk to your members, this is a commonly overlooked gold mine of intel. And what's going to happen is if you don't do this work here, firstly, we'll know. And B, I'll tell you how we'll know is your ads just won't stick. Your ads won't stick and you'll come crying to us in the fucking Slack channel or in the support channel. I'm saying that with love. And you're going to be like, oh, it doesn't work. This thing doesn't work. And we'll be like, cool. which 30 members did you ask? And you're like, oh, I kind of asked them. Or you send out a buddy survey monkey. Get out there and talk to them. They're your members. The other mistake is you're falling into the, I'm not a marketer trap, and you completely just drama cycle. You're blaming the victims. You're calling the victim card. You don't need to have a PhD in marketing to do this. You just need to be able to talk to people, okay? And just translate that into a Google Doc that we've created for you, and then come back to us, and then we'll work on it with you. This is literally why you're here, and you're a business owner. If you're watching this, you're a business owner. I'm going to treat you like an adult in here, okay? Business owners, your two key roles are marketing and innovation, and you could probably argue leadership as well. But what those little voices can't deny is that only you know your members, your area, your business, your ideal avatar with the most accuracy, depth, and insight. We're going to use that to our advantage. You're our secret weapon. Now we're going to work on why do you exist? Really important. Why did you start this business in the first place? Beyond income or freedom? Why didn't you open a laundromat? Why did you choose this particular business in the first place? What is the core problem your business solves for your ideal avatar? And how does solving it positively impact your customers' lives? I want you to really dig into that. Reflecting on your personal values and passions, how do they align with your business's mission and vision? What pivotal experiences or challenges have shaped your journey into this business? Because the more of that you can bring into this, the more storytelling you can bring into this, your prospective members will know why you're doing this. And people want to know why you're doing things, not what you're doing. What unique perspective or strengths do you bring to your industry? And how do they differentiate from the other Pilates studio or the other ski down the road? And what legacy do you hope to create through your business? And how do you envision its impact on the community or industry in the next 10 years? These questions, I want you to really sit with it. Pour yourself a coffee, do what you need to, really sit with it. Do the hard work here, okay? Do not be a hypocrite. You ask your members every single day to push. Don't flake out here. Don't just throw your arms up and go, I'm not good at this, and just not do it. You are a business owner. You sign documents to open that fucking studio. This is your job. Do the work here. Get really solid on this. Lean into it. For example, Nike exists to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And they go, and they asterisk athlete, and they go, if you've got a body, you're an athlete. An example. What's yours? You'll see mine later on, but I don't want to give that to you right now because you guys will just copy and paste. I know you're a high performer. That's why you're here. So I want you to do the work on that. That's the why do you exist. Really important. Lean into that. Pour yourself a fucking whatever your protein shake and complete this part of the thing. It's really important. And then when you submit that to us, we'll be able to review that. Now, to prove it, number 4 is what is your point of difference, right? What are your unique strengths? The top 3 strengths or skills that your business excels at, which competitors might struggle with. This is like what you're stronger at. When you do a SWOT analysis, this is like your big strengths. Now, customer experience. How do you ensure a memorable and exceptional experience for your customers that they can't find elsewhere? Now, you think about their pain points as well. Think about how overwhelmed they might be at the start. Think about what they've tried and hated in the past. Innovative offerings. What do you offer that sets you apart from others in your industry when it comes to that? And it might not be big technological advancements. I know, at the start of Barry's Bootcamp, the biggest thing that they started being talked about for was their cool, mint, refreshing towels. It wasn't the fact that they do pretty good workouts on treadmills and all that kind of stuff. It was $15 protein shakes and the cool towels at the end from the fridge. Personal story. How does your personal or business story influence your approach? Remember, we talked about that before. And the market gap. What gap in the market does your business fill, and why is that important for your customer? What gap does that fill, and why is that important for your ideal avatar? So when you work all that out, we get to the point here where we use the fill in the blank sentence to help you articulate your point of difference, okay? So you can use the following statement. Our business stands out because we offer unique offering or service that solves a specific problem or meets a unique need for a specific target market, unlike other competitors who, and then what their common shortcomings are, okay? So, an example. Our business stands out because we offer personalized one-on-one fitness coaching that tailors workout plans to each individual's lifestyle and goals for busy professionals, unlike other studios who rely on generic group classes and one-size-fits-all programs. You could even supercharge that by getting faster results with less effort. That's going to really win. And here's an example of Apple versus Samsung as well, dating the different sort of points of differences there between those guys. Apple's got the full ecosystem. It's got consistent software updates, premium, beautiful design, and all that kind of stuff. Samsung's got, the widest range. They've probably got better specs and, broad compatibility because of Samsung TVs and whatnot. But I just think if you're a Samsung, you're a weirdo. All right, now we get to number 5. Why are they here, not there? I want you to really get used to asking this question. I call this the separator. This helps really dig into the insights of why they chose you, not them, down the road. And you'll know, even if they're cheaper. Pay attention to the language, do not alter it, and definitely use this in your marketing copy. Number 6, what is the transformation that you're selling? Now that we know who we're helping, we should have a better understanding of where we're taking them. This is the transformation, not the how you're getting them there, but rather the outcome. Like, where is it that you're taking them to, not the plane, the destination. For this part of the exercise, just imagine that, we can wave a magic wand and every client does exactly what you tell them to do. Where will they end up? I help W do X using Y in Z statement. That's kind of it, right? I help men over 50 feel and look sexy so they can get the woman of their dreams in 90 days or less. That's pretty epic. I help busy mums create a realistic wellness routine so they can lose weight and gain energy in 30 days or less. I help busy professionals finally fix their dodgy hips and knees so they can move pain-free in 90 days or less. The secret is to make it as simple and attractive as possible. Something you can point to. I want an outcome. I want something tangible outcome that I can point to at the end of it. Make it clear, not cute or aspirational. Imagine you're telling a 7-year-old. Would they understand it? And whatever you write down first, as a general rule, just cut 50% of it out. Then you take it to the pub. You don't have to go to the pub. Take it to the pub. If you walked up to the person at the bar at your local pub and told them what you did, will they understand it? They're likely not your avatar, but no matter how sophisticated you think your market is, no one wants to think. No one wants to work to understand it. This is where most people mess up. They try and stuff it full of like keywords and jargon and all this kind of stuff, but it's like, it starts getting a bit funky. I've had to rebuild my own office from the ground up multiple times because it wasn't clear enough. It was probably my language, not theirs. And that's why the best thing you can do is go and speak to your members and use their language. So, the 10-week gym and a boot camp versus the 6-week sail a day sprint. That's what we're doing now. If your market is especially saturated, it's helpful to talk about how you get them the transformation. So they think, well, I haven't tried that method before. You see this a lot. So I help working women lose 5 kilos in 8 weeks or less by eating more and training less. Oh, that's interesting. I help busy mums lose weight through personalized nutrition plans and high intensity interval training. I help athletes enhance their performance with specialized mobility programs. That makes sense. We don't want to lie. This should be something that you actually know is possible or has already been done before. There is one simple word that you can add to your transformation statement to make it 100 times more powerful, and that's guaranteed. This is better known as a risk reversal. If all things are equal, you and your competitors probably offering the same thing. So why would they work with you? Well, there's multiple risk reversals ranging from, and I'll buy it back from you, I'll give you an extra $10 for a plate of tacos, or 7 days love it or leave it, or no questions asked, money back guarantee. So we're here to make world-class offers, so that if world-class offers should really almost scare you, because otherwise it's not powerful enough. It's a bit vanilla. It's not the purple cow that, a lot of marketing, like the gods talk about, you having a purple cow offer. You think of like the Pepsi challenge. You think of, the old days in the Domino's that sort of saw them rise through the share market with, if you don't get your pizza in 30 minutes or less, you get it for free. All that kind of stuff. You can choose not to have one. A, where's the fun in that? But B, just see how you go with lead flow and cut through in the market. I've seen owners 10x their business in 30 days by simply adding a no questions asked money back guarantee. It just reduces the risk of the buyer. Now, a word on stipulations. If you're adding some conditions to your guarantee, 90% of people won't read the stipulations. So they're probably going to fight you either way, tooth and nail. I'm just saying, if you want to have some guarantees, some stipulations for your guarantees, like you've got to train 4 times a week, you need to complete like your meal plan, you need to do your stretches, you need to complete the bingo card or whatever that you set out. And if that all doesn't work, then you're entitled to your thing, like your money back. I'm just saying, like, make it really clear. But just expect that not everyone's going to read the stipulations. I think it's going to come down to how good your onboarding is. Okay. Now, so that's sort of a word on risk reversals and what the transformation is that you're selling.
What we've got here for you is actually pretty cool. It's our Geronimo avatar creator. And what this is, a AI bot that we've built from the ground up to help you guys nail your ideal avatar profile, to give you a full canvas to be able to go through your lighthouse message, your value proposition to the market, and get a deep understanding of your avatar and how to speak to them. You've got access to this because you're a part of Geronimo, and you can actually add it to your ChatGPT by just hovering over this part here and clicking where it says hide from sidebar. For me, it's going to say add to sidebar for you, and it's going to save it in there. And you've got access to this to really help you bring your avatar to life, to know how to speak to them and help you create high converting ad copy that speaks to your market and shows them why you're the logical and only choice for them to get their goals. Once you click let's get started, it's going to come up with prompts. The best part about this is it's going to prompt you through every single step. I've got a pre-created one here. We actually did this with the entire team a little while ago on one of our live coaching calls. This is a live example from one of our clients that we went through on that call. And I'm going to show you this at the moment as well. It's going to take you through how to help create your hero narrative, which is a complete avatar and messaging system for your studio. We're going to move through the step one by one and one section at a time. And by the end, you'll have a polished document that you can use for all of your marketing. There are a bunch of sections, and this is designed by our team. You can really get to know deep down who you want to target. That's going to ask you some specific questions. What I want you guys to do is absolutely not just surface level this. I want you to think, I want you to give deep, nuanced answers, and I want to make sure you fully understand the questions, because if you just give surface level answers, of course, you're going to get surface level results. Even before we go through this, I still do absolutely recommend thinking about the 3 to 4 perfect members you have at the moment and just having a conversation with them about who they were before they came to your studio. Because ideally, we want to replicate more of those people, and we do that by speaking to who they used to be, because those people out there now want to get to where they are in your gym at the moment. Section number 1, the person you exist to serve. The very first question is, who are they? Think of one specific member who had an amazing transformation in your studio and paint me a picture of who they are. These are the questions: age range, gender, and lifestyle. What was their day-to-day before joining? What were they frustrated by? What had they tried and failed at? What were they saying to themselves? And who were they comparing themselves to? You'll see that as we come down here, it is going to have a complete breakdown of what we went through on that live call. These are some answers to those questions, nice and deep. The good news is, if you don't go deep enough and it's a little too surface level and vague, the bot is actually designed to challenge you on this. As you can see here, this is really strong. They can feel the heaviness and stuckness in the day-to-day of this particular client's avatar, but we need to sharpen it a bit so that the avatar feels real enough to touch. A couple of things to dig deeper on. It's going to challenge you, making sure that you take that feedback on board and going that little bit deeper to help you sharpen that message. The second question is, what makes them tick, right? In this case, it's going to prompt you with a bunch of things to answer. What do they want deep down beyond just losing weight or easing symptoms? What identity shift are they really chasing? What makes them trust a coach or a studio? What are their green flags, the clients you love working with? And of course, their red flags, the ones that you don't want in your space. So again, we went through and gave some deep questions. Now, this is very specific to your avatar. You can't just copy and paste this stuff because it's just not going to work, obviously. So you need to think about it and go nice and deep with the answers that you give. All right. And then it's going to make sure that it passes the quality check. And that's the first section complete. The second section is your lighthouse message. So your lighthouse message is absolutely going to be the thing that is your beacon to the industry, to the network, to your local community out there around who you are and why you exist. It's your belief system. So the questions here to answer are, what do you believe about fitness that your avatar needs to hear? What hard truth are you willing to say out loud? What are you against that most studios promote? What would you fight for in an industry full of fluff? And finish this. If you believe in insert truth, you belong here. And the last one is the unpopular opinion that we stand by is. Now, this is really important because this is also going to be the reason that you exist and the message you put out to your local community. Because in 2025, and if you're watching this now further on, okay, 2026 and onwards, it's not going to change. There's nothing worse than being just a gym. Because if you pull up Google Maps and you type in your suburb, there'll be 10 to 15 just gyms in your area. And if you're just doing generic marketing, there's no reason for you to exist, no reason for people to engage with you, and you just try to target everyone. It's like standing in Times Square. Lots of advertising going on, but nothing's really cutting through because there's just bright lights everywhere. So we want to make sure this speaks to your ideal person. You also get a real in-depth understanding of why your studio exists and why it is the one and only choice for the person that you want to help to get that help that they need. From there, once you've completed your lighthouse message, you'll move into section 3, receipts and not claims. So here, we want 2 to 3 specific transformation stories. And for each of those, a specific result, physical, mental, and emotional. So we definitely want to not just have a ton of weight loss results. We want that journey and that story that someone's gone through in your studio. A quote from them that reflects the before and after mindset. Then obviously get a visual, photo or a real idea or a descriptive image. And then a line from them. They used to think X, now they know Y. And even better, a moment that they almost quit and what pulled them through. Now, this is where you need to once again speak to your members. It's really important as well that you get the permission from these guys, but checking Google reviews, checking Facebook reviews, finding some excellent ones, and then calling those people and asking these questions and going deeper, because that's going to also show that these are the people that are more than happy to shout you from the rooftops because they're already doing that publicly on those platforms. So they're the ones that are going to be more receptive, more than likely to start with, to go a little bit deeper on why they gave that great review. Now, once we've done that, we're up to section 4, which is the core of your marketing, right? So it's going to ask you a couple of questions here. Your value proposition, okay? We help X go from frustration to emotional outcome without common trap. An example, we help busy mums go from exhausted and defeated to strong and energized without falling into the trap of extreme diets or boot camps. And that's your value proposition, right? So obviously you need to figure out what that is for your studio and why you did it. You look at your current member base, you look at the people with the most amazing results and what lights you up and fills up your cup when you coach these people. That's going to be your value proposition. Now, the best part here is it's also going to be a nice shining light or a signal for you to post some content on your Instagram around showing your local community how you help your value proposition, because it's also going to draw some organic views, and it's going to make sure that when people see your ads, then they go and investigate your Instagram to see what you stand for and who you look like. They see themselves reflected back. So this is going to double down in helping you not only understand your value proposition, but some ideas for content to help amplify the ads that you post. Then we're going to get some marketing hooks. It's going to help you create 3 plug and play hooks that you can use straight away. Videos, content, ads. It's going to give you some ideas. So if you're feeling X and you've tried Y, this was made for you. Most people try X, but that's just Y's. Here's what actually works. We've built this for people like X who want Y but don't know where to start. That gives you some hooks and some viral content. So not only for your ad copy and not only for your creatives to get them to stop the scroll, but again, for some organic content ideas. So you're going to get a big collection here of stuff that you can use by filling out this hero narrative doc. From there, it's going to put everything together into your hero narrative canvas that you can then download and keep forever. Who they were before they were winning, the person you exist to serve, your lighthouse message, the receipts, the core of your marketing, and that's your hero narrative. All right, it's the blueprint that you can return to every time you create marketing, share client stories, or communicate what makes your studio different. And so right there, you've now got a complete hero narrative, a complete in-depth understanding of your avatar. We can move on to the next section, which is creating your ad copy. Welcome to the Avatar Framework training. In this module, we're going to be actually creating the avatar. So we're going to bring your ideal member into your studio, roll them over to a long-term member, and then get their revenue generating up. We're going to serve more people in your community that you want to serve and get the right people into your gym. So when I have a look at the Avatar Framework here, what I want you to do, there are 7 modules below. You want to make sure that as we go through each of these, we fill out the part of this framework as we watch the videos. Don't get sidetracked with shiny object syndrome and try to watch them all and do it all at once. Break it down. 2.1, define your target audience. Go through that training, fill it all out. 2.2, so on and so forth. Don't skip ahead because that's where you're going to get lost.
Let's get to it. All right, team. So we're building your dream avatar profile here. We're going to define your target audience. We're in 2.1. We're going to focus on 2.1 right now. If you are aiming to service anyone with a pulse and a wallet, you're going to get your message lost in the noise. Everyone advertises that way. You are different. You solve someone's problem, all right? Not everyone's problem. So we're going to target that person so it cuts through the noise and you are actually focused on serving that person so they can feel like, yes, I see myself reflected in these ads. I want to train with them. So who is the avatar that we're talking to? How old is your ideal client? Don't have a range of 20 to 60 because a message to a 20-year-old is different to a message to a 60-year-old. So while you don't want to have it so narrow that it is targeted to one age group, they want to be broad enough that you can collect a large data amount of people coming through, but not so broad that the message is just noise. So how old is your ideal client? What gender do you primarily serve? You will have time to target all different genders, all different types of avatars moving forward. But to start with, we're focusing on one. So male or female. Let's get this right here. Don't target both because a male pain point is different to a female pain point. Where do they live or train? That's pretty self-explanatory. If you're in Sydney and they live and train in Melbourne, they're probably not going to train at your gym. And what do they do for work? What's their lifestyle? Are they career-driven and time-starved? Are they all-in parent with zero off switch? We're not using busy professionals or busy mums, okay? That's not who we target because every mum is busy. And have you ever thought of yourself as a professional, a busy professional, even though technically that's what you would be? Studio owner, gym owner, running a business. You're a busy professional. But when you see that advertised anywhere, does that actually sound like you? So make sure you pop that in there. Are they career driven and time starved? Are they an all-in parent with zero off switch? Think about the type of person they are and then put that in there. And guess what? Your best friend through this entire process, other than us, is going to be ChatGPT. So make sure if you're not sure what type of mum you're serving, what type of dad you're serving, what type of person you're serving, put it into ChatGPT, brain dump your thoughts in there, ask it to give you a definition around it, and that's going to give you some clarity. Get to it. All right, team. So now we are identifying our pain points and our feelings. So the goal of this is to bring out their real world struggles and the emotions behind them. So this is where you actually get to talk to the person you want to bring in, make them feel their pain, make them understand the pain that they're in, and then how you can help them solve that pain. So what are the 4 problems that they face when it comes to the health, fitness, or mindset? Now, if you go surface level here, weight loss, for example, guess what? Your ad copy, your offer is going to be surface level and it's not going to cut through the noise. So if it's weight loss is the top level thing here, but they're a mum, is it potentially that they want to make sure their kids are proud of them? You want to go that deep, that level. If it's mindset, for example, and they want to feel better about themselves, is the deeper level there is that they want to stop feeling ashamed of what they see in the mirror and go be more of an outgoing person day to day with their friends out in public. That is a deeper level pain point. So you know the avatar you're targeting. Have a think about what that surface level is and how you can go deeper. What's a common frustration they vent about to their friends or silently? Again, go deeper there. Have an understanding around that. Using our best friend ChatGPT, if you've got some surface level thoughts to help you articulate those things, is a great way to also get that down on paper. What's stopping them from taking action right now? Think about yourself in the past, some of the members that you've got at the moment. What stopped them from taking action? All right, it's going to be self-doubt. It's going to be thinking that it's not going to work for them. It's going to be thinking about no one's going to care if I even go. It's going to be thinking about what other people think. Deep dive into who that avatar is and think about the things that are stopping them. How do these problems really make them feel? Don't just say bad about themselves because, again, surface level, that's not who you guys are. It's not how you're going to serve. All right, are they ashamed of themselves? Do they feel invisible? Do they feel stuck? Deep, deep, deep. Last one, once again, what is the deeper fear or belief that they have about themselves as a result of this? All right. Once again, really dig into that, get an understanding about it. That's how you identify their pain points and feelings and gives you an understanding of how you're going to be able to cut through the noise and help them. All right, team, now we're on to crafting your personal introduction. So here you're going to position yourself as relatable and emotionally connected to their journey. One thing you're going to hear me say in our coaching calls, the whole team say about as part of your Geronimo and how we work with our clients here is people buy from people. I buy my iPhone whether I should or shouldn't, because I trust Apple. I buy my Nikes, whether I should or shouldn't, because I trust Nike. But if this is someone being introduced to your gym for the first time, they're not going to trust whatever your brand is, but they're going to trust you, and they're going to trust how you can help them because you're positioning yourself as the expert and hearing them, because people buy from people in this hyper localized marketing in your local area. So who are you? What's your role in the business? It's not just studio owner, right? Think about vision there. I am the owner of X studio and I help people do X. Go deep. Said it in the last video, go deep. What inspired you to start this business or create this offer? All right. What inspired you to help these people? What inspired you to be this entrepreneur opening your own gym? Deep. What kind of person did you have in mind when you created this place? And this can be who you were and how you went through your journey, which then inspired you to open the gym to do the same for others. How do you personally relate to the avatar's struggles? Okay, because this person, often the first avatar you create is a reflection on the person you used to be or who you love to help. So making sure that you go deep on how you can relate to the avatar struggles from a point that you have experienced them, or how the other people that you've helped in the past and how you can help more of those types of people. This is what you want to talk about here. And what is one promise or belief that you hold for every client that walks in? This is going to be your North Star principle for this, okay? The one promise or belief that you hold for everyone that walks in. Get that down, go deep on it to get a real true understanding of how we're going to help them. Clarify your offer name. So the goal here is to offer a name that reflects the transformation, okay? So we're going to go through some of the stuff here, but I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story first, okay? So there is, in U-Haul trucks in America, all right, the CEO and the founder, the person that created that to start with, they had the idea when all these other trucks around America were coming up with fancy names, funny things for their advertising. He popped on the side of his truck, this truck moves a king-size bed. You know exactly what that truck can do. And that saw their sales and their rentals of those trucks skyrocket. In Sydney, at Darling Harbour, in the aquarium, back in the day, they advertised it. They used to have, what do I do here to get people interested in coming to the aquarium? Popped on the side there during the school holidays. Kids love aquariums. Guess what? You're out of Darling Harbour, you're on a holiday. You look around, what can I do with my kids? There's a big sign on the wall saying kids love aquariums. Let's go there. Don't get overcomplicated or over fancy with the name of your offer. Make it very clear on how long it is, what it does, and who it serves. All right. So what is the name of the offer that you're selling? Is it a challenge, a reset, a kickstart, or a full transformation? What's the biggest outcome or result that someone gets from completing it? What do you want the name to make people feel when they read it? And again, we say feel, they should be able to feel that it's easy to understand and get started. That's the key there. And is there a unique word or theme you always use in your brand that can still keep it simple? If not, don't include that. But if it's something around your brand that still links it to quick action, person getting results, and length of time, you can include that there as well. But don't get too fancy here. Make sure it's easy to digest, because if you make someone think, they'll keep scrolling. Guys, now we're getting into the fun stuff. We're going to list out our offer inclusions. So the goal of this is detail what's included and how it fixes their pain points. The key thing here is how it fixes their pain points. We don't want to list this long of inclusions, because what that looks like to the lead, or what that looks like to the potential member, is I'm getting this and this and this and this and this and this, and it puts them into a mindset of like, is that worth the money? What are they trying to sell me? All right. We don't want to get them into that. People don't buy from an analytical point of view. They buy from emotion. So what are the core components of your program, the sessions and the coaching and the tools? Which of these inclusions are most loved by your current members? So you want to make sure that the ones that you can provide in this offer are the things that your current members absolutely froth day in, day out. Okay. How does each of those inclusions solve a specific pain point or frustration? So for example, if you're going to include nutrition coaching or a meal plan or a check-in, okay, that's fine. Are those particular things actually relevant to what the current lead or the person, the avatar that you're trying to get in, actually needs? And if they are, how does that check-in, how does that nutrition coaching, how does that macro check solve XYZ pain point that you've listed at the top of your ad copy? It needs to be very clear and specific. Nutrition coaching, because we're going to take all of the food problems off your plate, no pun intended, so that you can focus on sticking to the plan. Because if one of their pain points is always getting lost around my food, that shows how it solves it and makes that link in their head. What do you offer that most other places don't? And what makes your delivery style, your coaching, your space, or your vibe different? But again, all of those things need to be relevant to how it fixes their pain points. So if your awesome lights and loud music actually isn't something the avatar you think needs, even though it is a bit of a vibe and a different space for you, don't include that, all right? That's going to be something they see when they come into the gym. But if they don't care about music and vibe because it's not the avatar around that, don't make that a part of your inclusion because it's not going to work. So think about how it specifically helps solve the problems and pain points they've got and get writing. All right, guys, now we want to provide a real testimonial. We want to show proof that your offer delivers results. And this is going to be from an existing member at the moment. It's more than likely going to be something that they have told you before. It's going to be something that you have on a Facebook or a Google review that we can then extrapolate out for the purpose here of really understanding how you help the people you're trying to help. So what's one client story that shows emotional or physical transformation? Okay, you'll have someone in mind. Outline this right now. What pain point do they overcome before joining your program? If you're not sure, here's what you do. Go and ask them, okay? Get an understanding of how you helped them and how they were feeling beforehand. How do they feel now compared to when they started? Go and ask them, okay? If you don't understand, go and ask them, fill this information out. What would they say to someone who's on the fence about joining? Because this is going to come from their voice. So it's going to give you an understanding around what they would say to Joe who wants to come in for the first time. And then a bonus here is, do you have a short quote or review, Facebook review, for example, that you can copy and paste here? Now, I've got a little bit of a pro tip for you guys because the creative creation is coming up soon. If you're going to go talk to someone, I would actually have this filmed because you're probably going to be able to use that testimonial in the next part of the thing. So rather than worry about then going and creating another one, if you're doing this now, kill two birds with one stone, record that testimonial because it's going to come in handy, and then add this deep information in here so that you can show proof that your offer delivers. So here we're going to create a strong call to action. So we want to inspire immediate action with urgency and clarity. So what action do you want people to take after seeing your ad? It's going to be clicking the lead, right? Is there a reason to act now? Limited spots, a deadline, or a bonus? Now, even though we want 150,000 people to purchase this offer, we still want to create that urgency. So there should be limited spots. But you can even add to that we don't want to overwhelm the point that the funnel is leaky at the back end when you have too many people coming in on this offer. So having 10 spots a week, for example, and having them filled or in a month or whatever it may be, not only does it create urgency, but it actually allows you to scale the flow so we can get sales on the back end as well and not overwhelm yourself with having too many newbies in the studio at once that we can't then give a great service to. So make sure you're thinking about that as well. And what would you say to someone who's scared but interested from a point of view of like taking action, right? Think about all of you guys. You would have had a little bit of reservation before coming into Geronimo, all right? But at the end of the day, if you didn't make a change and try something now, you're going to be in the same spot in 6 months. How would that have made you feel? This is what you want to include in your call to action for your ideal client. So they understand and think about as well, yes, if I don't take some sort of action, I'm going to be in the same spot and I don't want to be there. So make sure that's included too.
Crafting a profitable hero offer is probably one of the favorite things that we do here in Geronimo. For all the reasons that you guys have just learned in the understanding your business maths, this is where the rubber hits the road and you start making money. Okay, so let me just go through why you need a profitable hero offer, just in case, I still need to convince you. And I'm going to get brutal here, okay, because that's why you guys love us. Throw out the trial and upgrade to a signature offer, which is what one of these things are. Designed to be irresistible, which is a word that you're going to keep hearing us say, to your perfect member. So irresistible, perfect member. Now, an irresistible intro program tailored specifically to your target audience offers several advantages over the generic offers like free trial or low cost limited time memberships and all that sort of stuff. Here's why. The first one is the tailored appeal means you get high quality leads, full stop. Okay. There's probably about $100,000 a month in ad spend that comes across my desk and I see everyone's offers, and the ones that get more specific sells more. So specificity sells, write that one down. The second advantage is that it helps you stand out. You guys aren't a generic studio, okay? There are other businesses on your block. There are other studios in your market that you're at risk of sounding exactly like them if you don't actually try and attract a certain individual. A well-designed, simple intro program positions you as a unique, like the only option that goes beyond just being an affordable option. So this is all about differentiation and your positioning in the market. Okay. The third thing is you can actually charge more because you focus on value, not price. That's a really big thing that we see is not only are you unique now, you're attracting high quality leads, you actually get to charge more because you're focusing on value, not price. We typically see our clients charge 5 to 10 times more than what they were charging, which offsets your ad spends, pays for your sales staff, does great things for your business. And on the back end, we typically see high conversion rates to full members. What you're going to learn as you go through this process is these types of members convert on the back end at 80% rollovers onto a full membership at a full price. So it's not just how many you get at the front, it's how many stay. Because remember, the big North Star principle here is we're trying to attract from the market your dream members that are going to be here 12 months from now, pay full price, and be a great asset to your community. So the shift here is for you to stand out. I want you to stand up for yourselves and not be anti-commodity. Your intro program is your statement to the world that you're not just another studio. You're a movement, a lifestyle, a community that can't be found elsewhere. This uniqueness is your shield against the commodity trap, right? Making your studio the only logical and emotional choice for those who resonate with your message. So that is why it's so important that we build together a unique, profitable hero offer for you. So in terms of what's involved, like what's in a hero offer, here is the simple equation. So effectively it's your core avatar, like your dream member, plus specific inclusions to solve their pain problems, plus smart pricing, plus a program name that is the kind of wrapper. If you tied it all up in a bow, it needs a hook. We talk about in content, your hook is worth 80 cents in every dollar. This is your hook of the program that really resonates. And if you combine all those things, you've got yourself a profitable hero offer. So let's break down all the elements. So the first thing is your inclusions, or effectively what's included. So where businesses go wrong in this part here is when they create their inclusions, it's just basically a list of generic features of their business, like unlimited training sessions, free goal setting, or great parking. They're all pretty good, but they're not going to make you fly out the gates, and they're not going to make you, create a really famous offer in the market. Your prospects don't care about the features. They don't care about the stuff. They care about the outcomes. They care about the benefits. How does this inclusion help directly solve a problem in their world? It's just a conversation that's already happening in their head. Every inclusion that you design needs to directly answer to a problem they have, an objection or a belief they've got, and a solution that helps them realize that must have been the missing piece before. Because you best believe you're not the first studio that they've been a part of, and maybe it's failed in the past. So what have you got that's different for these guys that is the kind of missing piece, so they don't feel like it's been their fault the whole time? Have some fun with it. Okay, this is where we get to act like crazy mad scientists and change the game. Like, now that we know what has to happen for your clients to achieve their transformation, we need to create a solution that assists your clients in hitting those points every single time. Okay, so come back into reality now and use a combo of what we know and what resources we have to start making the transformation guaranteed to happen. So you've got multiple tools or resources at your disposal. Okay, you've probably got an app, you might have some automations in your business, you've got team members, you've got coaches, you've probably got some media assets, you've probably got some videos that you guys have done, you've probably got some lead magnets, you've got some PDF, you've got some resources, you've got meal plans, you've got how-to guides and all that kind of stuff, a shopping list, or you can actually create them as well. So when it comes to inclusions, the holy grail is to include things that create low op drag for you and your team, or low to no additional hard cost or overhead costs. These are the features and benefits that are unique to your service that will actually help your dream member get their result. And the two ways that we found become the sexiest, most compelling bonuses is when you reduce time and you reduce effort on their part. So your goal as the business owner is to take them from sad face, the starting point of where they are now, to happy face, the end point, the transformation effectively, with the least amount of work or time possible. That's it. If there was anything that you learned from this module, is this piece here, right? Your goal as a business owner is to give them the transformation with the least amount of work and as fast as possible. The best way we know how to do that is to basically unbundle all the things that you already offer and then rebundle it within the program to increase the perceived value of the offer, meaning you can charge more. So again, this is going to be a we go, so don't get overwhelmed here. Don't already automatically switch off. Work through this, okay? We're all adults here. We're business owners. This is a new skill that we're going to acquire. We're going to do this together. I typically start with what is the most valuable inclusion for my ideal member that will help achieve their transformation, and then work backwards until I get something that I can do with low to no cost. So for example, if an activation point is a tailored goal setting session, one option is the owner could work one-on-one with every client. Someone could be trained by me and work one-on-one with every client, better. Or we could actually do our weekly group induction and a goal setting session. Love that. Scalable. I don't need to be involved. I can set the standards, but I don't need to be present. That's exactly what we did. Worked so well. If an activation point is, the client receives specialized meals and nutrition advice, one option is you could complete a one-on-one in-person healthy shopping tour. We could both, hold hands and skip down the aisles. Love that. It'd be awesome. You or someone you train could complete a group in-person healthy shopping tour. We have literally done that. It was actually quite fun. A lot of our members do that. A lot of our clients do that, Well, the third thing is you create a short guide and or video series, literally like navigating down the supermarket and how to choose and how to read labels and things like that, almost as if it's like a series of YouTube videos. Love that. And what a great resource you could bundle up and package and even sell later on. If an activation point is like personalized accountability coaching, an option could be you, the owner, would reach out to every new member every day to make sure they're on track. Highly valuable, don't love it. Owners, like you could hire another staff member, train them to reach out to every new member to make sure they're on track. Or you create a habit tracker that is distributed to all new members, which you have them report back on a weekly basis. Now, that is a tried and true. It's tested. A lot of people use this method. It's kind of what we do with you guys as well here in Geronimo. So what we want to do is we want to find anything that is high value and medium to low cost and like low op drag / scalable that we can implement right away. It's okay if you don't have the perfect inclusions right now. This is something that we can iterate over time. We want to keep moving, okay? Don't get stuck on this. Don't get stuck trying to perfect each stage. Just get it out there in market. Otherwise, you'll get 80% and you'll get stuck there and you might have the perfect offer, but no one to sell it to. How to price your hero offer? Great question. Love this topic. Short answer is at the sweet spot of profit and volume. You can charge like a wounded bull and only make 3 sales, or you're not charging enough and you might be making heaps of sales, but you're not actually profitable. So we've got to find the sweet spot through testing, through good business principles. And now that you understand your business maths from the earlier module, we're going to find the sweet spot, okay? When I did my first hero offer back in 2015, it was $2. $2 because it was the lowest amount of money I could charge for my membership software to hold on to the credit card details. So that's all I really cared about. They were flying off the shelf. But then $2 became the new free. So then I went to 35. 35 was because it was basically a half price week, $35 for a 7-day experience. And that did really well, but I wanted to get more money because I wanted to offset, remember? I wanted to offset my CAC. I wanted to make some rock. So, but it was only 7 days. How much could I really charge for 7 days? And it felt like a good deal. So I doubled the price and doubled the weeks. So I was like $77, $66 for 2 weeks. Good. But eventually we went, stuff it. Let's make some freaking money. Let's make some profit because we were the only ones doing it. And every time we turned the price up, it didn't really change the volume. So we went up again. So $132 for 28 days was the original Kickstart. I invented the 28-day Kickstart and the original price was $132 for 28 days. Guess what? We were selling 20 to 30 of them a week consistently. Any given 28-day period and any given 4-week period, my managers at the studios had 80 people rolling through their Kickstart, across a 28-day window. 80 people rolling over 80% of them onto a back-end full-price membership. You could imagine, why, our monthly recurring revenue went up to $120,000 a month, one studio. Screenshot here in the World Magic. So we just kept turning the price up. We went to 156, 179, and then eventually we landed at $199. And that was our sweet spot of volume and profit. So it might take a little while to get to the ultimate sweet spot, but that's just to give you some principles and some foundation sort of knowledge around how you do that. Now, I want you to remember the maths of your business in the rich studio versus poor studio example. You want to charge a price that values your service for what it's worth and still generates a profit for you so you can offset your ad spend. So a few good words there to really lean on, okay? It's the mass of your business. You want to charge a price that values your service for what it's worth, generates a profit so you can offset your ad spend. I wouldn't go lower than your CPA, which remember is calculated as your CPLs divided by your conversion rate. So if you're getting $20 leads and your conversion rate's 30%, your CPA is $66. I wouldn't charge any lower than that because you want to offset that. So this could be a dynamic price, and you're missing out on a lot of profit. So I don't want to decide for you. I mean, we can when you're working with my team member who is working closely with you. They can kind of help you finesse this number. But I also want you to develop that part of your brain where you're a business owner. We're going to treat you like an adult here. You do the thinking around this. This is the principles. We'll finesse this together so you won't go wrong, but just try, figure it out. But this is a core principle to understand in terms of how to price your hero offer. Okay, so you can always come back to this module and sort of sharpen your knowledge here. A question we often get is choosing your offer name and length. Now, again, I'm not going to decide this for you because I want you guys to really own this and really lean into your perfect, your dream member and what it is that they would want and how long would be reasonable for their transformation. But what I can present to you is what has been performing really, really well. The most common and best performing duration of these programs have been duration-based offers, but I don't want you to limit yourself to that, okay? So for instance, 28 days, 21 days, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, but we've got great owners that are selling 5-week things, 9-week things. Like, don't limit yourself to it, but it's probably not a bad place to start. The secret here is the length of time is not that crucial, but it needs to be short and sharp. If one makes more sense for your avatar than the other, then start with that. So you'll cycle through each of these along the way. Again, if you're watching this for the very first time, it's about getting something out in market based on some really good principles and some solid kind of data that we will help you with. Because again, when your time of recording this versus when you might be executing this, there might have been an update to what happens here, which is why one of my guys will be with you to make sure that we're always loading in what's working the best right now. And even seasonality, if you're trying to do this, the week before winter or, around Christmas, it might shift, okay? But I guess the point here that we're trying to make is, duration-based offers seem to work really well. The other thing that we're going to start to see come through, and we'll update the training, is transformation-based offers. But remember when I said at the top, people want a transformation, but they want it fast and they want least amount of effort. That's why I think duration-based offers make a lot more sense. Because if I said to you, here's, the dad bod transformation, 6-month dad bod transformation, doesn't sound as sexy as the 6-month, the dad bod transformation sprint for 21 or 28 days. That feels like something I would purchase because I want, fast beats free and fast beats effort. Call it what you want, but it needs to be angled towards your perfect member. We're going to keep coming back to this. Your perfect member. What is relevant for them? It needs to make sense. So really think about how it will land with your avatar. For example, if you have a new mum who just wants some self-care time, then a 28-day level up or a 28-day shred is probably not going to resonate. We see that all the time. Again, don't limit yourself to these buzzwords, but when we talk about giving it a wrapper, when we refer back to this equation, we've talked about the pricing, we've talked about the inclusion, and you've done some work around the core avatar. Now we're talking about the program name. Okay, that resonates. When we talk about the program name, we love power words that really help ignite some imagination in your dream members' minds. So the original word Kickstart, or how I came up with Kickstart in 2015, was every single lead that I spoke to that bought, the number one thing that they said was, I used to be fit, life happened, and now I just need to kick up the bum. I just need to kickstart my health routine again. I was like, I kept hearing Kickstart. I was like, I can't not call it Kickstart. So that's why it's called Kickstart. But we changed it. We went Kickstart, Jumpstart, Fast Start, Head Start. We did all the starts. It was kind of a running joke eventually with our members because they knew what I was doing. But, reboot, re-energizer, transformation, but don't just take your brain out and use one of these because I told you to, okay? Really think about, if you're a Pilates studio, I don't know if your people want a Kickstart in a Pilates studio. They might. If you're a recovery studio, I don't know if a Jumpstart is something that aligns to recovery. Re-energizer might, reboot might, an experience might. So, and who's your best friend? GPT as well. It's been really helping a lot of people. The pro tip here is have a good hard think about the last 10 people you sold into the membership. What language did they use? Like I just gave you the example of the Kickstart, where that came from. What language did they use? The last 10 people that signed up to your Pilates program, the last 10 people that signed up to your mixed modality studio, the last 10 people that sort of signed up to your big box gym, what did they say in terms of the transformation that they're looking for? Not, I just want somewhere with good parking, because that's bullshit, right? Let's get a bit deeper. What are they really looking for? And get the outcome in there. So to put it all together, I want you to head to your hero narrative and fill out all the blanks and bring together your hero offer. Once that's complete, keep moving through the training modules and bring your campaign to life. See you in the next one.
So you've used Gav, which is our Geronimo avatar creator, and now you're ready to organize your ad copy. You're probably not a marketing copywriter, and you're probably not too sure where to start. And that's why we've got GMAC, which is our Geronimo Meta ad copy bot. This helps you write high converting Facebook and Meta ad copy based on your ideal avatar from your hero narrative. And because you're using it consistently, it's getting smarter. And every month we're going in with the top performing ad copies and hooks that are working in the academy, feeding it back into the bot, constantly teaching it, and it is upgrading and getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So there's two things you can do here. You can add your hero narrative, or you can also submit an ad copy for it to review based on the ADA framework that's here in the training. And again, how effective it's going to be from all of the coaching insights that get fed back into this bot to give you direct feedback on whether or not it is actually going to help you convert into leads. So we're going to use the add your hero narrative button. You're then going to obviously upload the hero narrative canvas that you just created with Gav. All right. And then it's going to go to the next stage. All right. It's going to go through the hero narrative. It's going to talk about whether or not it's a strong foundation. It's going to give you a quick recap of the essentials that it's going to build the ad copy from: avatar, pain points, transformation, social proof, and that core message. It's going to ask you some more prompts as well so that we can really get crafting a specific copy to speak to your specific avatar. So the first question, based on your avatar, what's the one big problem that you solve for them? Would you say it's more about being pain-free and strong again, or reclaiming energy and confidence? Now, that is from the hero narrative document, because there are a bunch of examples that we gave from receipts, not claims section. It's going to make sure that it's being specific. So you can't target everyone or paint everyone with a broad brush. The more specific and clear your ad copy is, the more effective it'll be to convert. So you'll choose based on all of the examples you gave in your hero narrative, and then it's going to ask you to get more specific about their pain point, the lived experience of the problem that your avatar faces, right? So in this instance, from the example before, it had a couple of options, and it's broken down into symptom, frustration, or self-judgment based on the receipts, not claims, and the hero narrative part that we just went through. So it's going to ask you which one best captures their voice, or do you have a specific phrase that the client has said that hits even harder? So you'll choose from here to move to the next section. Once you've done that and you made your choice, then we're going to craft the hook, the first 2 to 3 lines of your ad that make them stop scrolling. So what it needs to do here, it explains, call out their reality, which is the pain and emotion, sound like their voice, so it's not generic, and be grounded and specific. So again, what this bot does is it takes your hero narrative and all of the things that you filled out before, and based on that, it gives 3 hook options to test. Do you ever catch yourself thinking, you're not lazy, you're not weak, high achievers don't quit at work? It's going to go through everything, and then it's going to ask you, do any of these feel like the right tone for your studio? Or would you like to tweak the hook to lean on a more pain relief or more strength and confidence? Or for your specific avatar, the things that you solve, it'll include that in there instead. So you can choose one that you love, you can choose one that you want to tweak a little bit more, and make sure that it's super clear and specific. Once you have landed on the hook you want to use, it's then going to ask for proof. We want to show them it's not just hype. This actually works. So we've got client story in your hero narrative, and then it's going to put in there how it could send an ad copy. It's going to ask you if they want to use one of your clients' receipts, not claims, as your main testimonial, or if you have another client story that might hit even harder. You can choose. Once you've chosen the right one of those testimonials or added another one of your own, it's then got a hook, a pain point, and proof, and then it helps you lock in the offer so the ad has a clear call to action. Now, you'll know from the training before, you've got your hero offer. This is the thing that you are known for. It becomes like your starting system. The biggest thing I want you to believe and understand about this is that people think subconsciously a trial, and so you need to change as well. A trial is something that someone's coming in to try your gym. A program, an offer, hero offer, something that is positioned as more than just trying a gym, is actually the beginning of someone's journey from their current pain point all the way through to where they want to be, right? So this is going to make sure you lock it in. It's super clear on how this offer is going to specifically help your avatar. And to make it irresistible, it's going to ask for a few details. What is the exact problem that it solves? What's included? What's the duration, and the name? And you would have gone through all of this a little bit earlier, but here you have a chance to tweak it and make it even sharper before adding it into your ad copy. From there, it's going to do a quick recap of everything. It's going to suggest some ideas for names if you asked it to, or it'll use the one that you've locked in. Then it drafts the full ad copy in a canvas that you can download and save. It's then going to create your ad copy. Now remember, all right, whenever any AI bot or anything that we build, all right, creates something for you, it's always about 70% done. And this is where what we call at Geronimo the sprinkle comes in. And you, using your knowledge and your smarts and who you are, sprinkling things to make sure that it absolutely fits the ADA framework that was in the training from before, and it sounds like something that your avatar would absolutely click on. So this is where we can change up some specific callouts at the top, like location mums or whatever your avatar may be, so it's super clear. We want to make sure the first 3 lines of your ad copy are very engaging, because that is what's scroll stopping along with the creative. And the data shows that 80% of the budget is spent on the first 3 lines. So there has to be a reason in those first 3 lines where someone will click read more. So you'll sprinkle that. Once you go through, it's got a full ad copy for your hero offer for your avatar, ready to plug into your meta and launch.
This is how we write winning ad copy. So creating compelling ad copy is both an art and a science. We need to captivate the audience and encourage them to take action. So we do this by relying on proven copywriting frameworks that you might not even realize, but the things that you've bought before, particularly from like direct response advertising, followed a copywriting framework. Now we're going to show you these frameworks. You're not going to be able to unsee it. And it's such a powerful skill that you can now have in your arsenal. The first framework we want to talk about is the AIDA framework. So it stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So the A is there to get the reader's attention with a striking headline or question. The interest pumps up the interest by highlighting what makes your product unique or how it solves a problem. Then it builds desire by detailing the benefits and emotional gains of your offering. And then the action is the call to action to tell them. Most people are like sleepwalking through the internet. You've got to tell them what to do next. So here's an example in action. Beautiful mums of whatever. That's the A, right? Interest built through the pain points. Are you busy time, poor mum, holding on to a bit more weight than you'd like, wanting to feel better in your skin, but just not sure where to start? We get it. You know, life's a whirlwind, often leaves you little time for you. But what if we told you, so now you're pumping it up. What if I told you there was a way to reclaim your time, your body, and your confidence? I'm interested. Then you're introducing the offer or the solution, and now we're going to pump up the desire, you know, with the use of well thought out inclusions. We've got, you know, complete and structured sessions, so no guesswork. Just show up and let us guide you through your transformation. Unlimited training, lose up to 10. Like you can see what we're doing here, right? And then you're adding a little bit more power to this. 2 of the most powerful elements in copywriting, in marketing, is scarcity and urgency. You guys know that. You know, it's exclusive for the first 10. Everyone's exclusive. No one wants to go first, but no one wants to be last. No one wants to miss out. And then you've given a direct and personalized call to action, a strong what to do next. So the AIDA framework is a powerful structure for creating that copy, you know, that really compels the readers to do something. It helps them go from cold to sold really quickly. The first thing is that attention-grabbing headline. So we want to make sure we capture their attention by grabbing it and stopping the scroll with your first 3 sentences. You've only got that long. We need to maximize this and call out your avatar there. Then they know that it's for them and they feel an immediate connection to that. Like, fuck, this is for me. So things that I want you to include here or think about is using your avatar label there. So whether it's young ladies or dedicated mums or dads or whatever it is, your location area helps to personalize and localize it, and perhaps even the transformation that they want to achieve. So for instance, attention dedicated mums of the Sydney CBD as an example. Now you've got to keep testing with this, okay? In the world of advertising, like 80 cents on every dollar is spent in this headline. So keep testing the hooks. Avoid using too many words because then it becomes a mouthful and confused minds don't buy. Avoid general call outs like ready for change. Then number 2, interest. The interest to be piqued by hitting on emotional pain points relevant to your avatar. This is where you really want to get inside the conversation happening inside their head. Okay, you got to tap into that. The outcome should be like, oh my God, they've written this exactly for me. You're writing it one-to-one, which is really important. They need to feel seen, understood, and intrigued about what you have to say. I want you to go deeper than you think here. So instead of saying want to lose weight and feel better, which is so friggin' generic, or, you know, the Pilates version, or the, you know, do you want to achieve more wellness in your life? It's like, there's not really a no to that question. Think a bit deeper than that, right? Are you feeling stuck, unsure how to shed those last few kilos? Or are you feeling stuck and unsure how to, you know, rejuvenate your health and wellness and feel excited to wake up every single day? So that's what I want you to really work on. You want to aim for a minimum of 4 questions here, like the example above, but make them extremely specific to your avatar. And again, we're always going to be testing. Then number 3, we're going to build the desire for the prospect to A, keep reading, and B, get down to the call to action where they want your product. So to create the desire for your product and the possibility of, there's another way, there's another option. You want to create them thinking, oh God, okay, you're offering something different here. That's why we introduce your program and then emphasize its value and relevance to them. So this connection, this desire can look like these. If you relate to any of the above, you're not alone, and it doesn't have to be that way. People want to know that. People want to know that it wasn't their fault and it was just because they were missing something. So many other women feel like they've lost touch with their own well-being. That means like you're an expert and there's social proof there. Or, hey, my name is owner of this particular studio and I've helped thousands of women just like you in this particular area regain control of their physical and mental well-being. So like you're now positioning yourself as the expert, someone they haven't heard from before, and you've got their way out. You've got the solution, which is what this part is here. That's why I've created this program, or that's why we've done this thing, or that's why we're doing this program. Like, it's almost like it's, when you go through that because frame is such a powerful frame in copywriting, particularly kind of if it was precluded by your authority and your social proof on that topic. Then we show them what's included to help them achieve that transformation. Everyone is looking for a transformation, okay? So here in that inclusion is you want to overcome, you almost want to like pre-sell them. You want to overcome the objections that they have in their head already about why this is not going to work for them. Like, I don't have time. Well, they're 10-second workouts that are, or I'm not fit enough, or I wouldn't know where to start, or like, and this is going to test how well you know about your avatar. What are they going to like automatically, you know what they're going to object with. Then you put that in the sales copy, like you put that in the ad copy, so they go, oh, they seem to have answered everything. They must be the perfect place for me. Well, I haven't tried that before. Well, no one's ever helped me with that before. This is where, so that's so important, okay? Don't talk about shit that your avatar doesn't care about, because it's just going to show that you're not for them. And then once you've nailed all that, example, and the other thing too is you want to talk about the benefits of it, not just the features. So do not say unlimited training. Like, no one cares about that, and everyone's got that. So what about your training is perfectly designed for your avatar's problems that it solves to help them with that transformation? Now you got their attention. Now they're interested. You've pumped up their desire. Tell them what to do next. That's the strong call to action, okay? So this is like, it's a 4-week program designed for everyone, or designed for you who've had, they've had enough of big commercial gyms. We've got no mirrors, no egos, blah, 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 blah. Click learn more below and we'll be in touch. We'll give you a buzz, right? Click learn more below and be ready for one of our transformation coaches to contact you. All right, let's grab them by the hand, help them out. Let's go. We're never going to stop testing. Okay. Like, you testing and writing new copy is going to be like asking your members to come to the studio every day. You never stop. This is an ongoing process. So we're going to always refine and test. We're going to review your ad copy. Does it clearly guide the viewer through each stage of AIDA? And then there's other copywriting frameworks that will take you through. But right now, this is what's most important. Tailor it to match your brand voice. Don't just copy someone else's. And if you want to, if it's your vibe, you can add in emojis for visual interest. But that is how to write winning ad copy.